This is your first script or this is?
No, so this is my second screenplay. Um, it's a result of 4 works. I see them for me as a continuation. Because when I started writing, I was so influenced by music. So I started writing plays. And that was because of having booked some work, acting work, while I was studying, and then not booking work post-graduation. So then it's like, okay, cool. You start hearing things around actors or producers, people are creating their own work. The John Gunnies, all of those. And fortunately, I met John Gunny on my night of graduation. I just graduated. We were going to get Nando's, and I met John Gunny.
Wow.
And I asked him, what do I do next? And he inspired me to, keep creating and keep being active. So wrote Unmasked. So what I was saying is I saw my works as albums from my theater shows, albums, and then COVID happens. And then I wrote You're My Reason during COVID. And then the responses from it, because I was just I was in a place where I was trying to fuse theater making and filmmaking and bring them into one. So the responses I was getting from You Are My Reason, started making me question more things that I'm seeing in society. When I was talking about this film starting in February 2021, that's because that was the first workshop that we had. And now that I was delving into what is mental health, and trying to narrow it down to the story that I need to tell, I was hearing there was somebody, when I was living in Soweto, there was somebody who kept saying they have suicidal thoughts. But the responses around his circle weren't supportive responses, And even when someone would unknowingly suggest going to a therapist, the guy would respond, no, I have gone to therapists, it didn't help. So it was all of these behaviors that I really wanted to, start sieving out, And to be honest, this film the script wouldn't be where it's at without the assistance of, the KZN Film Commission. Them funding the development really helped the story develop from being a movie made for TV part 1 that's gonna still have a part 2 and a part 3 into a concise short narrative that's telling a story about grief and trauma when undealt with and the effects of that and what could happen. But then you get fate, that will come in hand and bring you a Tando, and bring you a Dr. Parker who would sort of show you a direction to that's where the light is. And ultimately, for you to seek the light, it's your decision. Because again, a person who shows you the light also has their flaws, like we see in Tando, right? So honestly, the script really molded itself, following us receiving the commission. from the KZN Film Commission to really develop this story now. They love the concept of how faith and fate plays in hand with each other, and how two individuals, they, can come in and help each other in their darkest moments, because when the story started, Tando and Cindy would meet at the bridge when they both about to commit suicide, But then when they meet each other, they realize that they have similar, challenges, and then they decide to face life together, So now it's still a similar story where Cindy and Tando save each other, because Tando is trying to love again, but he's got trauma, that he's dealing with. Cindy doesn't have anybody she can trust in her life because she's just lost her whole world with her parents. So they're still there saving each other, but the story is more, what drove me to write the story was the strange nature of human behavior and how easily one's mind can be triggered by something they don't even know exists in their subconscious. Lockdown showed me so much about humans and that our behavior is influenced by our mental health. I wanted to explore Cindy's mental health, Ntando's mental health, Pamela's mental health, Dr. Parker's mental health, the society's mental health, and because our behavior towards each other is very toxic. It cannot be that a deal that you rightfully made with my father, now that he's gone and he cannot speak for himself, you will come at me and say, no, your father actually didn't make this deal with me, therefore this is mine. How I'm still grieving. Yes, it doesn't look like it, but the fact that must happen in my life, what? So just because this link in the chain has gone, so basically we were all weaklings. It was this one strong link that put us together, and now that it's gone, it's all gone. And that has to boil down to our mental health. There's hatred there. There's all of these things that are boiling underneath this surface that we put on of when we wake up in the morning, we're chilling with family, and when it's extended family, right? When you wake up in the morning, you must greet everyone, right? But what's beneath that greeting? So for me, that's what really led to the conceptualization of the story. But to where it's at now, it's really thanks to the KZN Film Commission. It's thanks to, our script editor, Priti Mkwanazi, who was involved in the first period of development, and then we had another script editor recommended by the KZN Film Commission, Zunaid Mansour, who came on and also just helped us flesh it out more and sharpen it more up until it's a tool that's actually going to create a change, in society.